Hey, it's Anna Catherine and welcome back to my channel here on YouTube. You can find me at Anna Catherine, Catherine with a K, page, P-A-G-E, like a page in a book. Let's dive right into a really interesting story about how I found a pristine condition Italian leather vintage chair at a yard sale last weekend. Last weekend, my boyfriend and I were doing our casual every weekend stroll around our little downtown area to go get breakfast, and then we just kind of go run errands. And we happened to have to go to my parents' house that day to borrow their SUV. On the way to their house to borrow the SUV so that we could do some hauling for some landscaping material, we came across a sign for yard sale. Now, let me take a back step real quick and tell you that I have been in the process of decluttering my house, especially when it comes to items that I have purchased in the past with intent to resell. It got to the point where I had too many items. It was just overwhelming, and I said I'd rather just donate the stuff and just get the tax write-off than try to resell these things, because that's just how much stuff I had. So my boyfriend has been very hesitant about me going to any thrift stores and or yard sales, and with good reason, because I need to restrain myself from buying more stuff and getting back in the same situation. However, he really wanted to go to a yard sale, a good yard sale, and we haven't been to one in months, at least 8 months. And he said, let's go. It was on the way to my parents' house, and it was actually where I used to live, on the same street many years ago, back when I was in elementary school. So we go to the yard sale, and once we get there, as soon as we walk in, the first item I see up front is a mid-century modern chair, and it had a quilted cover on it, so I couldn't see the leather, but I saw the metal aluminum looking base, and I looked at him and I said, I already know we're getting this. How much cash do you have? We only had $40 cash, which wasn't a lot because we had just paid cash for breakfast, and I was like, oh, we shouldn't have used that cash for breakfast. We should have paid card, because who knows what other great stuff will be here at this yard sale. He goes, Anna Catherine, are you, and I just look at him and I said, and if you couldn't hear that, it's worth a lot of money, but I whispered it because I didn't want the person throwing the yard sale to hear me and talk about reselling it. I just thought that was rude. So I just looked at her and I said, hi, good morning. How much for this piece? And she said, $15. And I looked at him and I was like, sold. I said, okay, sold. We're just going to start making a pile of stuff. Well, as we peruse through the yard sale, we end up only finding a couple of other things that we needed, like a dog pooper scooper for $1 that retails for $22 on Amazon, because we have the same one. So we did pick that up, and it was clean. It was cleaned. And with 5 dogs living here, we can always use an extra pooper scooper in the yard. So we did pick that up, and then he got a dartboard, like a Cheers vintage 1989 wood case dartboard that opens. I'll have to show it to you some other time once we get it put up. So we got 3 items in total, and I told the lady, hey, I actually don't have room to put this in my car right now. We're going to my mom's house to go pick up the SUV. And she goes, oh, sweetie, I know your mama. Don't worry about it. And I said, okay, we'll be back in an hour. She ends up knowing my sister and my brother-in-law. So it all worked out. $15, we secured the chair. I did not take a picture of the chair while we were there to do a Google image search. I just knew from my prior knowledge of reselling furniture that this piece was going to be worth at least a few $100s, a couple $100 in my opinion. So I didn't feel the need to research it. Looking back, I wish I would have done so, because I could have then asked the seller if they had a piece. One of the most important parts and pieces of this item was a base for the chair. So it actually would have been a set. I didn't realize this till after we'd already loaded it up, come back, picked it up, got home, and then at that point, I was like, honestly, I don't feel like going back to, even though she knows my mom, knows my sister and brother-in-law, I just didn't feel the need to have to go back and hassle her. And at that point, I was like, I'll just sell it for what I can. So after looking at some comps online, I was able to determine that if I would have had the base and if I could have verified the authenticity that it was a real Italian chair, then I probably could have gotten maybe upwards of $800 for it selling on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I've seen similar ones sell for $2,200. That's a sold price on Cherish. And if I were living in a bigger metropolitan city, an area, and not in Podunk Town, South Carolina, I probably could have gotten more money. And I find that a lot with things that I sell on Facebook. It's just because of my area, it has to, unfortunately, impact my pricing and how I price things in order to sell them quickly. So I did price it at $150 because at this point, I just wanted to get it off my hands. I took a few quick shots of it with my DSLR camera, which is actually very, very old. It's a hand-me-down from my grandpa. It's probably 15 years old, maybe. I don't have anything super nice. I could have shot pics on my iPhone, but I was like, I'll whip out the camera and see. I ended up putting the memory card in this little converter I have that plugs right into my phone, the little micro SD card, and I uploaded only 4 pictures. For me, 4 pictures isn't a lot for a listing, but again, I paid $15 for it. I was only going to get, hopefully, asking price at $150. Didn't want to put much more effort into it, so we put 4 pics. I measured it. I didn't even put a great description, product description on it. I just put the title, Italian style, vintage, leather, chase lounge, floor chair. Within 5 minutes of me posting it, I got an offer. It wasn't for the $150. I had somebody else message me. They said they were interested, but only if the base was included, so that one didn't work. But within 30 minutes of me posting it, I had 6 more people message me, and I had it sold. And the guy was actually here within an additional 15 minutes. So within 45 minutes of me posting this listing on Facebook, I had $150 sent to my Venmo account, and voila, I made a quick $135. Looking back, I wish I would have researched it and taken a picture while I was there, but I try not to do that when I'm out at a yard sale and the owners are like right there. To me, it comes off as, you can do whatever you want, but it comes off to me as kind of rude, and I want to be a good business person. In my mind, I want to be respectful, and I don't want to be like, ha ha ha, you know, I could have sold this, there goes my AirPod, for $800, whatever. So, no problem. And to each his own. You can do however you like, whatever your preference style is. If you're okay with confrontation, which a lot of times people at yard sales that are running them and hosting them, they can be confrontational because it's their stuff they're selling and they think it's worth $1 million. Doesn't matter who you are. Go for it. But for me, I just chose not to, which is fine. But $135 profit for me only posting 4 pictures, and all I did was post the width and the length, and that was it. I didn't even post the height. Not that the height really mattered because it was on the floor. Didn't put in much effort at all in the description besides cash or Venmo only, located, put my city, and then a landmark that's nearby. And it was sold, like I said, picked up, cash in my hand in my bank account within 45 minutes. For $135 profit, I was pleasantly surprised and pleasantly pleased to have that quick cash in my hand for less than, I'd say in total, 30 minutes of work, taking the pictures. I did clean it up with some leather cleaner, which isn't much of anything. It didn't really need cleaning. And by the time we transported it home, moving it in and out of the house, I would say all in 30 minutes worth of work. $135, I can take that. So be sure to like, share, and comment on this video, and also subscribe here to my YouTube channel at Anna Catherine Page, P-A-G-E, like a page in a book, to learn more tips and tricks. And I'll give you my advice on how I resell everyday items to make a quick profit, anywhere from a couple $100 to thousands each month as a part-time side hustle, if you shall call it so. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions specific to reselling or mid-century modern furniture or places to source, whatever your question is, I encourage you to please leave it below, and I would love to be able to respond to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.